Welcome back to Proverbs 31 Life. Today we are remembering what God has done. I know there's a balance that we're not to live on the past. I don't want you to live on yesterday's miracles, but it's okay to remember what God has done. Often this is going to encourage us and help us in our faith because we need to remember that God's done it once, He can do it again. So I want you to take a moment to look back on your life. What comes to mind? What are some of the first things that you think of that God has done? For us, for many of us, there's probably a few wonderful memories paired with a few not so great memories. When you remember these moments, the good and the difficult, do you see the hand of God working in your life? He is. He's there. What do you see? I want you to remember these things because we need to share them with others. These memories, this testimony of God working, it is part of our testimony. It's part of our life. And we need to remember what God has done for us. God instructed the children of Israel several times to do things in remembrance of His leading. Exodus 12:14 says, "And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever." God wanted them to remember. Joshua 4 verses 5 through 7, "And Joshua said unto them, Pass over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of Jordan, and take ye up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according unto the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean ye by these stones? Then you shall answer them, that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, when it passed over Jordan. The waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever." He wanted them to set up stones so that they would remember, and it would be something to cause their children to ask, what happened here? Why do we have these? God didn't want them to forget, and He wanted their children to know. Deuteronomy 6:10 through 12. "And it shall be, when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which He sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities, which thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things, which thou fillest not, and wells digged, which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees, which thou plantest not. When thou shalt have eaten and be full, then beware lest thou forget the Lord, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage." He warns them against forgetting Him and what He's done for them. When we forget what God has done for us, we don't usually forget the situation. We just stop giving Him the credit and take it for ourselves. Be careful not to think of your life as just happenstance situations or your own doing because of your intellect and abilities. If you are saved, you belong to the Lord, and He is the one leading your life. You can trust Him, or you can ignore His leading and disobey Him. But even in our disobedience, He works things out in a way that brings us back into His will, because that is the best place for us to be. Anything we have or accomplish is because of God's grace. Additionally, others need to see us giving God the credit. This is our testimony. We are told over and over again to be a light, to be an ambassador, to be a vessel that others can see God through us and glorify our Father which is in heaven. Do those closest to you know that you trust the Lord, or do they see you trusting yourself? Deuteronomy 6:7 says, "And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up." Do your children know that God is the one leading your home? Do you share past miracles and answered prayers with them so that they know God is a God that they can trust? Remembering times when God has provided, healed, comforted, and encouraged will help us and others to trust Him. Sometimes we just need to remember. Sometimes there is a valley, there is a trial, there is a period of waiting, and our flesh, we can forget because those miracles are like so long ago. But we have to remember that God's done it once and He can do it again. We need to know and be reminded and show the world that God is real, He's personal, and He is able to meet our needs. Take time this week to reflect on your life. Praise God for what He's done, and then share it with someone else. Don't keep His goodness to yourself. Trust him. Remember what he's done for you. Until next time, stay in the Word, stay close to the shepherd, and let him lead you in paths of righteousness.